Hi, this is Tamara from mooglyblog.com, and I'm back with another edition of Yarn Love, where I work with Red Heart to take a closer look at one of their fantastic yarns. This episode, I am looking at Red Heart Soft, which is a gorgeous, silky, smooth yarn that comes in a couple different sizes depending on whether it's a solid, a heather, or a print. Let's take a closer look at those together. Now here is a ball of Red Heart Soft in the yellow colorway, which I believe is called, Lemon. And I wanted to point out this is one of the solids, obviously, and it comes in a 5-ounce ball, or 141 grams, and that's 256 yards. It's a great big ball. The heathers and the prints, however, here's one of the heathers. You can see it's 4 ounces or 204 yards. Same thing for the prints, 4 ounces, 204 yards. So keep that in mind if you're combining solids, prints, and heathers in a project, which I've done in an upcoming project for Moogly, that you may need slightly more if you're using a print where I've used a solid or vice versa, just in terms of the number of balls. However, they're all the same weight, whether it's a solid, a print, or a heather, so you can combine them in the same project. It's just that the balls themselves come in different sizes. So I wanted to make sure you were aware of that. Additionally, all of them are 100% acrylic, which is great, non-allergenic for most, especially those with any sort of animal fiber allergies, and it's machine wash and dry, and that combo is fantastic for kids, families, pets, making gifts for those who maybe aren't into hand washing and taking extreme care of their handmade items. So it's a great all-purpose yarn. It's a 4 or a medium weight, and they recommend an eye hook or 5mm knitting needles. There is a die lot, which you can see right here. However, I've used several skeins in several different colorways, and I haven't noticed a distinct difference between the die lots. That said, obviously, if you can buy enough ahead of time to avoid that issue, it is always a good idea. Now let's take a look at how it works up on the hook and needles. All right, here I have a pair of Susan Bates 5mm US 8 straight knitting needles, which is the recommended size on the label. And this is the Fantasy colorway. And I've just done a few inches here in garter stitch, but you can see it really is a lovely yarn. It's got great drape. In fact, the site on redheart.com, on the description of this yarn, it tells me that they use a special spinning process for the silky look and feel. I'm not sure exactly what that spinning process is, but it sounds pretty amazing, and the end result is certainly gorgeous. All right. Now, I haven't knit with this yarn too much beyond just this little swatch, but while I was making it, I certainly didn't split the yarn, and I didn't have any trouble like that. I really enjoyed knitting with it, and it slides right along these metal needles very easily. It's nice and squishy, and like I say, it's got a great drape. If I wanted it very loose, I'd probably go up a couple needle sizes, or even possibly switch the stitch, but I think it is really gorgeous seeing the colors work up here. Now let's take a look at a crochet swatch. Now I've got some more of the Fantasy colorway that I've been working up with a J hook, which is a 6mm. So it's a 0.5 millimeter bigger than the hook recommended on the label, but I really liked the even distribution of the colors I was getting with this one. So that's something to play with too. I think you can see here it would probably be great for pooling, although I haven't done a lot of pooling myself. I think there's a lot of possibilities with some of these colorways, particularly this Fantasy one. And let me just take a few stitches here so you can see how it works on the hook. And then I will give you a sneak peek of the new free pattern that I have coming out with this yarn on Moogly very soon. Now, as you can see, it just slides right along the hook. This one is wooden, and it's not having any significant drag, although I can tell it has a little bit more drag than it did on the metal. So if you are a speed crocheter, that is a factor as well. However, it really does glide pretty darn well, and like I say, I haven't had any splitting with the crochet either. So now I will go ahead and take a sneak peek at the finished blanket coming up very soon. That's right, it's a blanket. All right, here I have the blanket that I've been working up in Red Heart Soft over the past couple of weeks. I've got some gray heather, some of the lilac, and here's that Fantasy making these beautiful puffy hearts. So you can look forward to the free pattern for that on Moogly later this week. As I speak right now, it's January 2019, so that will be free on Moogly soon, and there will be a video tutorial for that here on the channel as well. So this one's brand new, but I've been working with Soft off and on for a few years now, and I found one of my older projects. And in fact, I've linked this free pattern at the blog post in the description here as well. And this is actually, I found it in my daughter's room We were cleaning out her room. She's 17 now, but I made this many, many years ago, and she has been wearing it off and on ever since. It's a little fingerless mitt. And you can see it's got some sparkle yarn here. This one is another Red Heart yarn that is unfortunately discontinued. So if you did want to make up this pattern, I'd say like Red Heart Huga Charm, which has the sparkle, would be a great substitute. But the black portion was all made in soft. And like I say, this pattern right here, this particular object itself, is at least 3 years old, if not older. So it has been well loved and well worn. It was used for dress up play as well as just wearing in colder weather. 3 kids, it's gotten a lot of use and a lot of wear. And as you can see, it is certainly fuzzed up a little bit, but and it's harder to see, I know, because it's black, unfortunately, it's just the color that I used at the time, so it's harder to see now. But you can see it's a little fuzzy, but there's no pills. There's not a ton of wear. It is held up really, really beautifully. And like I said, it has been well loved by children for many years. So that's just an example of how soft looks after it's had a little life of its own inside the project. Now, let me pull that swatch of crochet back up here, because I forgot to mention frogging. Frogging with this yarn, since it's nice and smooth, is not a problem at all. The stitches pull right out, whether they're knit or crocheted. Additionally, like I said, it's been very consistent color to color. I went through multiple skeins while making the blanket, and over the years, I've used lots of it, and I've never had a dye lot issue. But like I said, do buy enough of the dye lot for your project if you can. I think it works beautifully for crochet or knitting. You can see the colorways are just going to work up a little differently, but I think you can get some great crochet pooling with it as well. Since it is a nice smooth yarn, Red Heart Soft is perfect for beginners. You won't have any issues with texture or finding your stitches. It's a great beginner yarn. It's a great experienced knitter or crocheter yarn. It's great for garments, blankets, household items, kids projects, anything at all. Like I say, it'd be great for pets, kids, family members, whoever you want to crochet or knit for. I think they'll really enjoy the finished project with Soft. It certainly lives up to its name, and it's widely available, particularly in Michael's stores, as well as online. If you go to the link in the description, I'll have links out to the yarn, as well as the hook and the needles I used today, and you can take another look at all the beautiful colors. So I hope you'll check that out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll give Red Heart Soft a try, and like I say, go to that link in the description, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and a like and a good comment if you liked it, and please do subscribe. Thanks so much for watching.